Hello and welcome back to the Ringers NBA Previewpalooza. My name is Chris Ryan. I am joined by Micah Peters, Jonathan Sharks, and Haley O'Shaughnessy. We are here to talk about the Rust Belt, the Central Division, the Eastern Conference's most overlooked division. You can hit us up on Twitter at #NBAPalooza. Leave comments on YouTube. Leave comments on Facebook. We will get to them. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you about the Pistons, about the Bucks, about the Bulls, the Cavs, and the Pacers. I remembered all the teams. Let's go quickly through some best case, worst case. Best case scenario, worst case scenario for the Cavs is best case they win the finals, worst case they lose it and LeBron walks. That's pretty easily, right?
Yeah.
Right.
What is the best case scenario, worst case scenario for the Bucks?
I would say best case for the Bucks, they win, they go round 2 in the playoffs, play against the Cavs, kind of build forward to the future.
They prove that that
they're here to
Giannis
stay
is like
now.
a top 5,
Yeah.
top 10 player. I mean, he's a top 6 player, maybe.
Yeah.
What about these other teams like the Bulls, the Pistons, the Pacers? Like, is there anybody here that you feel like actually has something to play for this season?
Well, the Bulls have the lottery to play for.
Okay.
So they basically need to lose as much as possible. Nothing good's going to come out of this roster, especially with Lavine out till probably December. And then with the Pistons, I think that if they can just make the playoffs, that'll probably keep Stan happy or the management happy. Yeah, keep him employed for another year.
Pacers?
I don't know. Nate McMillan is coaching for his job, probably.
Yeah, a couple guys coaching for their jobs, probably.
Yeah.
Nate and Fred.
Yeah, for the first time since 1963, I think it was. There were no coaches fired last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
How about that?
Good
Yeah.
poll. Look at that research.
And I
right
think
there.
3 in this division are on the hot seat.
Okay. Well, okay. And then we have already a question from Nathan Statsny on YouTube. Is it Drummond's last year in Detroit? He's talking about hot seat for coaches, what about for players?
Right. It's interesting. I think that it also applies for Reggie Jackson. So Drummond obviously had an off year last year. He really needs to come out and be that elite rebounder, rim runner that he was that got him to the All-Star. And then with Reggie, the same thing. We need to see that he can get along and mesh with his team.
You should plug that profile you're doing of Andre, right? You got a big piece coming in
Right,
tomorrow.
I am. It will
Spoiler
probably
alert.
come out tomorrow, yeah.
Central Division All-Star team. We obviously, the Cavs guys would be the All-Star team for the most part. Could you make up an All-Star team out of non-Cavs players from the Central Division that could beat the Cavs?
Giannis 5 times.
Yeah.
That would be an awesome team.
Let's hear it, though. Giannis and Myles, right?
Chris Middleton.
Chris Middleton.
Chris Middleton.
Who plays point? Brogdon?
Giannis plays point.
Wait. Yeah, okay.
I could see Malcolm for sure. Maybe if Depot has a huge year, a comeback year, and his stats are loaded.
Tobias Harris?
No.
Tobias.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of they'd really have to
Avery Bradley.
these are
Avery
people that have to
Bradley.
be playing
Avery
at
Bradley.
the
I like
very
that.
height
Avery
of their
Bradley, Chris
powers.
Middleton, Giannis,
Giannis,
Myles Turner, and who's the 5th player? Who do you want?
Zach Lavine on one leg? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, why not Drummond, though, if he has this huge year? I mean,
Sure.
he was an all-star before, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and then who would you guys have coach this team? Not Ty Lue.
Yeah, not Ty Lue.
You couldn't use him because he was I'm saying who would your second Central Division coach be?
Name I
Fred,
guess Stan. I don't know.
I would take
guess
Fred.
Kit.
I would
I don't
take
know.
Fred.
He doesn't even know what his
I would
starting
take Fred
lineup
because we
is.
haven't even
Yeah.
seen what he can do as a coach in the NBA yet.
Right.
So maybe this year with a bunch of young guys, he has a great
Yeah,
year.
maybe he finally gets to install his system. Okay,
Right.
so let's talk a little bit about Cleveland. Because one of the interesting things about Cleveland is they usually get their ticket stamped to the finals, at least to the Eastern Conference finals. I'm curious, what do you think Cleveland would be if they were in the Western Conference?
What would they be if they were in the Western Conference?
Ooh, that's a question.
Well, I mean,
Like the
think
2
about,
seed, or would they be like a 3-4 seed?
I think they'd probably be like a 3-4 seed.
Okay.
Maybe a
I mean,
5-6.
I honestly don't know how this team is going to work against faster teams. You know what I mean?
Right. And part of the interesting thing with them is that in the East, we're all saying that they're probably going to take a lot of the regular season off because they can.
Yeah.
So in the
Yeah.
Western Conference, they couldn't do that, especially with Rose, especially with Wade, 2
We were talking about
injury-prone
that yesterday with
guys.
some of those
51
divisions.
games is
Right.
like
How
not
would they really keep up and be sustainable throughout the entire year if they had to really try?
Yeah, absolutely. We got a couple of questions and comments coming in from social media. Andy Clark on Facebook, make me a case why I should care about anyone in this division who isn't Giannis or the Cavs.
I'd say Myles Turner. How good could he actually be? We're
Okay.
not really sure. He'll be the guy now. He'll get 20 shots a game. Will he be a 25-point guy with all those shots? Probably not, but maybe.
I mean,
He has a lot of upside theoretically.
It's interesting.
I mean, it's just a league pass alert answer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not really.
If somebody's like Andre Drummond is about to make a free throw, we'll hit league pass alert
Yes.
and get back in there. Speaking of Myles Turner, Kieran asks on Facebook, do you really think Myles Turner is good enough to be a franchise guy? So is he a number 2 guy? Is he a number 1 guy?
Well, for Indiana, what's the difference, right? They need somebody, right? You know.
Yeah.
Like, and for now he is. Who else is going to be? You know, Oladipo.
Is Milwaukee a playoff team in the West? We just talked about whether Cleveland would be a playoff team in the West. This would be tight. So Milwaukee's probably around that Portland range, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to say they're on par with last year's Portland team.
Like Denver.
So I would say yes.
Would you say yes?
I would say, I mean, like if Jabari Parker is healthy, yes. I mean, I don't think that this team isn't gonna sniff 50 wins without him.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, probably like Portland, Denver, like that.
That
those
Utah,
teams that are
yeah,
kinda, like,
I think
fighting
you
around
see
for the
like
eighth seed
he
that
has to be
season.
like a true top 5 player. If Giannis is just like that good, like if he takes the next step forward.
I think is it too bold to say that this is a potentially like I feel like he's gonna have like an MVP worthy season.
Hey,
Yeah.
our Danny Child picked that.
So let's get like a quick poll here. Or at the end of the season, is Giannis going to be in the MVP conversation for real?
I don't think that they're gonna win enough games for him to be legitimately in the conversation.
Westbrook, though.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
He
I
last
hope
year he
so.
led the team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks.
He has to be in the MVP conversation.
He's also
this year.
going to start playing middle linebacker for the Packers. Do you see what he looks like
And
now? He's like
quarterback.
enormous.
Yeah, Kevin's shirt is like he's looking here like.
What do you think? Do you think he could jump into that LeBron?
I really hope so,
Durant?
but I do think that this is also a year for a lot of guys to have like kind of a revenge year. So LeBron's stats
Yeah.
will probably be flashier. Maybe James Harden. So I don't know. He'll have a lot of tougher competition this year.
That's interesting. A lot of questions coming in about Myles Turner. Is Myles Turner stranded in Indianapolis like KG was stranded in Minneapolis for so long?
I feel like you have to be really good to be stranded somewhere.
Yeah, Myles Turner has a
But he's a good player,
Yeah.
but stranded is hard. Like, let's see him be awesome before he's stranded anywhere.
Yeah.
For now, he just needs to get better.
I do kind of get what he's saying, though. He does seem like a guy whose potential could be more realized quicker if he was with other guys who are better.
Right. I want to have some fun with talking about LeBron because one of the things that we haven't really gotten to see, I mean, like LeBron's moved teams a couple of times, but there was like, it's always fun to have these like thought experiments about what other teams would be if they had LeBron. If the Pacers had LeBron, would they win the East?
Oh.
wow.
So Myles Turner, LeBron James.
Depot's a third option.
Depot. This is not appreciably worse than some of those last Cavs teams he played with the first time around.
Right.
That's a good point.
I'm going to say yes, because I have no respect for the rest of the East. Like, LeBron and Turner.
So LeBron on what
Wait,
about
LeBron on the Pacers? LeBron on the Pacers with this current Celtics team?
and with the Cavs just without LeBron?
I feel like
Yeah.
LeBron plus Turner would wreck
Yeah.
out some people.
What about LeBron on the Bulls?
Okay, now we're getting, that's questionable. That's
That is
really-
questionable.
LeBron, Dunn, Levine, Markkanen, Mirotic,
Lowry.
They score a lot of
Lowry.
I feel like now we're pushing things on the Bulls.
We have a couple other questions coming in. Could Stan Van Gundy have had worse draft picks than Johnson, Ellenson, and Kennard?
I select Stanley Johnson. I'm on Stanley Johnson Island. So I'll say that. I'm still a Johnson guy.
Well, with Kennard, it just seems like he really wants shooters around him,
Yeah.
no matter what. So I guess if he wants shooters and this guy turns out to translate that to the NBA, then that's exactly what he's going for anyway.
When you watch Stan and you see like the form an effing wall meme and like you just see how he like just really gets broken down over every busted play, every loss. Have you ever played for a coach like that? Have you ever like been like with a dude and you're just taking this a little too personally?
Yeah, my AAU coach. He was, like, I think it was what? I can't even remember what it was. I want to say it was like anytime I settled for a three-pointer.
Settled?
Settled for
Oh,
a
so
three-pointer.
he was not playing Maury ball.
He was just like anytime I
Get to the
settled
rim.
for a three-pointer instead of like cutting to the basket or like rotating the
And he
ball
just would
around
get
something.
heartbroken.
And it was just like
I'm never gonna get you to Louisville this way.
Exactly. And I was just like, hey,
You could be starting for them now.
A couple other things on social here. JC says, can the Bucks get out from under the Henson and Mirza contracts this season?
It seems like if you put a first-round pick on things, you can always move somebody.
I kind of like John Henson. No?
He hasn't been good in a while.
Interesting.
He hasn't been good in a while?
Yeah, well, to me, like, you have Thon at 5, you have Greg Monroe at 5. You want to play Giannis at 5, too. There's no room for him in the rotation.
I wonder if
Right.
anybody would bite on John Henson as a trade piece. I think that the Bucks could be like a trade guy, They have a trade waiting to happen somewhere around the deadline if they want to try and get into the top 3-4 conversation in the East. Other questions from Facebook. Vance asks, Which is a bigger lock, Cavs to the NBA Finals or Cav fans hating Jeff Green at the end of the season?
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Probably the latter.
Yeah, probably the latter.
Just like past performance.
We'll let you
suggests.
know after the game tonight.
Yeah,
what
I
you
know.
really think.
Simon says, shouldn't Cleveland start JR and Wade since LeBron already plays point and let D Rose lead the second unit? I actually mean, like, that is Ty's plan, is to have D Rose start, play a few minutes, sit with like 4 or 5 minutes left in the first, and then come back in the beginning of the second and play against the backups. That's apparently what he's going to be doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think that matters, like how they start?
I would hate to play Rose and Wade together. That just seems crazy to me.
Yeah, that does seem like it's not 2010, right?
It just seems like it's a bigger ego issue because, like, Wade seems like a guy who's never going to come off the bench, but JR is so upset about it, and you need JR in there. So it's just
like Wade over JR the starting lineup.
But isn't JR
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
upset like a relative construct, right? Like, I mean, like he's like upset,
Right.
but
Yeah, I mean,
But he
Right.
still wants his shots, though, and his
he'll
minutes.
get his shots.
He wants his
Come on.
minutes, though. I mean, I want him to start. He should start.
I don't know. I don't think you bring Wade off the bench. I don't think you can do it.
Why not?
Why?
He just
Because
can't.
Dwayne Wade is better than J.R. Smith, right?
Yeah, he is.
But is he a better fit on the team? Like, it's not a team concept.
Well, this is the thing
theoretically.
with the Cavs is I don't think that there is such a thing as a Cavs team concept right now.
Right,
I mean, I
there's
think
not.
that there was like they went through different iterations of the team where that first Golden State Finals they were like playing bully ball at the
Yeah.
end because Kyrie got hurt, and then obviously like they kind of had like a smoother, like nicer looking offense. But I don't know what this team is right now. Like they're going to start Kev at the 5. So does that mean they're going to spread it out? Like, I mean, what do you think the Cavs are going to line up like tactically?
They're going to play no defense and just jack shots constantly. And
I
it's
mean,
not super exciting at all. Like, so many guys who jack shots in this team now, right?
Yeah.
There's like 4 or 5 of them.
Is there anything that you think you need to see, or that LeBron really needs to see from the Cavs this season to make him commit to the team going forward? They have this Brooklyn pick, and on one hand, that's a very attractive trade asset, but they're not going to get rid of it if LeBron is a threat to leave.
Yeah, I mean, there's almost no point in trying to be smart about this.
Yeah,
just because I mean, if they get to the finals and they lose again, he's probably going to leave. If he gets to the finals and they win,
Right.
he could still leave.
Right.
Like I don't really think you can call it one way or the other.
Right, and he's been laying out these what we think are like steps for it to be okay to
Clues.
leave.
Leaving
Right,
breadcrumbs.
right. So I feel like he's already kind of made up his decision. He's a really smart guy strategically.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm curious what y'all think about this. Like, if you're Cleveland, maybe the argument is we have LeBron for one more year. Let's just go all in one right now. Is it worth like burning the future to go one last run at a championship, or you think long term and like we got to win 50 games 2 years from now?
It really depends on, like, I don't even know what's in Dan Gilbert's head right now about this franchise. You know what I mean? Like, I think I could see a scenario playing out where LeBron leaves again, and he's just like, I'm going to try and sell this team at the height of the NBA popularity right now. I mean, granted,
That would be a good time to sell.
I mean, when LeBron leaves is going to be, you're probably not going to get the same value, obviously, but you have that number 3 pick, or you have that Brooklyn pick. Maybe that is a next step for the team, and you could trade Kevin. You know what I mean? You could get stuff coming in. You could rebuild relatively quickly. A couple of things coming in. Joel asks, predict a non-Giannis, non-Cavs league pass alert for the Central Division. What would make you switch to a Pacers, Bulls,
when
Pistons
Zach
game?
Lavine comes back, if he's like on fire one night, because like we were saying before, he's literally going to take like 35 shots a night, and that will be fun if he's having like
Yeah, Zach Levine hunting shots. He's
Yeah.
been playing with Wiggins his whole career in Towns. He's never had to just jack
Yeah.
shots
Yeah.
whenever he feels like it.
he's been the third option.
Yeah, now he's
gonna
gonna be
let
the
loose.
guy.
Yeah.
What about, from Greg, realistic options if the Cavs want to deal that Brooklyn pick? Have you thought about that at all? Like, who could be like the David Cohn trade to come in and help them?
David Cohn. Look at this guy.
I feel like David
He's
Cohn.
showing his age right here.
Yeah, I know. It is my third quarter. David Cohn, like, I always felt like got traded after, like, right at the All-Star break, always to the Yankees or the Blue Jays to help them
I heard
out.
the name David Cohn in like 15 years.
It's like
That's bringing you're bringing it
iconic
back
picture
now.
to me. Yeah.
He's iconic.
Well, in some ways, yeah. Anyway, any idea like what the Cavs
I mean, I
could
guess
use?
Boogie's obviously the one everyone always talks about
man.
now. It's always
Boogie and
good.
Bron.
That would be
Good.
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, obviously
It'd be
that
fun
would
to
be
watch that.
tough
I
for
mean,
you to lose
it
him.
would
but-
be tough. It'd be tough for me to stomach, but at the same time, like that would be a crazy ass team to watch.
Right? Wouldn't it, like that would be a full YOLO team. Let's just say whatever.
I think LeBron could really like harness him in too.
If anyone could, it'd be
yeah,
LeBron.
it'd be him. Yeah.
People are going to keep convincing themselves that they can,
That they
harness
can
Boogie.
do anything
Yeah,
about
everyone
Boogie.
said that,
Boogie's
yeah.
gonna do what Boogie wants for the
That's
rest of
for
his
sure.
life.
That's
Like,
for sure.
That's true.
All right, guys, we have a couple more questions coming in. One, are there any 2018 All-Stars on the Pacers, Pistons, or Bulls? I guess Andre would probably be the closest thing, right?
Right.
Myles
if he has
and
a
Andre.
resurgence, yeah.
It's tough because you have to be usually like a playoff team and an all-star guy, or have a great individual season.
Right, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's the East, so
I
one of
guess
them
it
could
is.
be.
Okay,
know.
and then the last question would just be, if you're the Bucks, what do you have to get in return to trade Jabari? Because he, they didn't agree to an extension for his rookie
His
scale.
stock seems low right now.
Yeah, I mean, understandably.
Yeah.
Who's trading for a guy coming off two knee surgeries, right? Two
Right.
torn
The
ACLs.
Sixers, maybe.
Yeah, your guys.
True. I mean,
combine Jabari
the
and Joel
Pelicans would
Embiid
probably
and
trade
so
for
on.
that too.
Do you still have Jabari stock?
Do I still have Jabari stock? I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's just been forever since I've actually seen him do anything.
Right.
Yeah, right. It's been a tough where he's played these like
Yeah.
30-game, 40-game stretches.
Right, and there were reports of him last season like as not the best locker room guy. They kind of like confronted him about being mad about not getting touches.
Oh, really?
Well, he's
Yeah.
a Duke guy. I wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me at all.
On that note, let's end it with some Duke slander. All right, for Haley, for John, for Micah, I'm Chris. We'll be back with our last segment, our awards, and our predictions for the season leading into Cavs Celtics NBA Previewpalooza. We'll be right back. Woo!